Hi, thank you for joining us on this platform. So, for people that have subscribed, I just want to say thank you so much. If you have not subscribed, you should subscribe to this channel. On today's episode, we are launching a new series called My Diaspora Journey series. And we are going to be bringing different guests that will be sharing their journey in the diaspora. And they will tell you the things that they've learned from their lived experiences. So recently we've had influx of people coming into the United Kingdom. So it's only fair for you to hear from them what they've been through, how they've been able to integrate and everything. So today I've got my name is Abia Sonia for those that don't know me, but today I've got with me a very, very special couple. We've got Paul and Priscilla with me today. So Paul and Priscilla, can you introduce yourself and tell us what you do?
Yeah, hi everyone. We've just been introduced already anyway. But I'm by name Priscilla, and he's my husband. He's also Paul, so two piece. So yeah, we we are joining this live stream just to share with others what our journey into the UK was like. So we'll be taking some few questions from our hosts. So just stay tuned and just stream to listen to us. Thank you. Hmm.
Hi, Priscilla. Maybe you should just come and co-host with me because I love the way that you just flowed. Thank you so much. So today, the first thing I'm going to ask you guys is, how has your transition to the United Kingdom been so far? What do you think?
Well, it's been, I would say for me, it's been smooth. It's not really been difficult per se. For others, anyway, they may have another um, look about how the whole thing goes like. But for us, really, it wasn't a difficult one per se. Trying to integrate into the system. Living your environment, your previous environment, and then coming into a new one. It's something that you will still feel it, no matter how smooth the journey is. So, but for us, I would say why ours was not that difficult was we were really, I won't say really prepared, but we were to some extent. We already sat down. We already have a view, like a kind of a picture of what the whole thing is going to look like. So to some extent, we're a bit prepared of what is going to come our way. And it all depends, I would say also, um, the route people come into a country. It's not even just applicable to UK. It's also applicable to other countries. When you are migrating from your own country to other countries, so it still depends on um, these two things. So it depends on the route you are coming in with. Because when I
Mhm.
came in, uh, I would say I already have a kind of things put in place for me. I know my husband is going to share his own part of the story, but I came in first, so it wasn't something that was all that easy, but it was a smooth one, I would say, if anyone would ask me, because coming to a place, you already have someone to welcome you off from the airport. It wasn't that stressful like the way others will see it to be. You have someone to receive you, you have someone to coach you, to help you integrate and settle in quick and easy. So I would say mine was an easy transitioning, and as time goes on, you begin to integrate more into the system. So I think my
Okay.
husband will have to share his own part of the
Okay.
story.
Okay. So before we move to your husband, Priscilla, if you don't mind, what road did you use to get to the UK?
So yeah, I'm a nurse by background. So I came in through the work. health route. So it's something that you start from Nigeria or from my
Mhm.
home country, because that's where I come from. So you take some professional exams, and then you start job hunting after being registered into their nursing body over here. So once you start job hunting, you are able to secure an offer you know you are pleased with. Then your employers come in, they help you with the work visa and all of that. And then you can book a kind of a fixed time as agreed, because they are going to give what is known as a COS, which is a certificate of sponsorship, which
Mhm.
act as them standing in for you, that they're actually the one bringing you to work for them. So that was why I mentioned at first that it was a bit easier for me, depending on the route you are coming into the country with. So if you are coming in with a work visa, I think to some extent it's transitioning is going to be a bit uh, much easier for you, because your employers are going to make sure everything runs smoothly. You are not all that stressed. They are there to take your worries. They are there to take all of your concerns and everything. So I came in through the work visa as a registered nurse. So I already have things put in place for me when I came in. So like I mentioned earlier, right from the airport, we already have someone to receive you there. And I think it's
Yeah.
also applicable to other nurses out there working with different trusts, working with different care homes, working with different agencies. You have people in place to always take your worries, to always take your concern. You have people in
Mm.
place you can always share whatsoever you are going, whatsoever that is not going right with you. You always have people to help you settle in quick and then make you integrate uh, fast into their system. So I think that's just what makes mine a bit good and smooth.
Wow, thank you so much, Priscilla, for sharing your, the transition story, just giving us a snippet. Now I'm going to come to you, Paul. So tell us, how was your transition to the United Kingdom? Because Priscilla just said she arrived first, right? And then you came to join. So tell us, how was your transition?
Well, I know everyone has a story to tell. Mine was quite interesting. I actually came in, I think around autumn. I think, yeah, it was towards summer was actually going into and then it was a bit cold, and I actually found the weather, the environment, change of environment, the weather, the atmosphere, strange. I wasn't used to that. So, and also, settling in, my wife was already in, and we've got a place to stay,
Mhm.
courtesy of the trust. So I told her, then what immediately I actually came, I told her the next thing is job, because as a man of the house, you can't just sit down at home doing nothing, because this is a country where everyone has to be on their toes. You have to work together as a team to ensure things are going well. So I actually took 1 week off after I arrived, immediately I arrived. So the following week I started job hunting. And one funny thing that people always get wrong here in the UK is how you go about job hunting as a newbie in town. How do you apply for jobs? It's not the same kind of experience back home in Nigeria. Your CV, must be able to match the job description. So many people just, put up your CV, in in anyhow form, and with the hope that they will get a job. And we always, my wife and I, we always make this use of this word, unfortunate emails. Many times people get unfortunate emails. and it's not really funny. But if people can actually have a good idea of what it looks like here, certainly will not be difficult. So I was able to get my first job, I think, 1 week after I arrived in the UK. And I told myself that's not a stopping point, because I look forward to develop myself professionally, because back home I was an inclusive educator. So I actually want to build on that. So I didn't give myself that kind of limitation. But also, despite the fact that I came in working in that kind of environment, I utilized every opportunity to, you know, get trained, learn new things, ask questions, which is very important, because here in the UK you ask questions. If you don't ask questions, they assume that you know. And when they assume that you know and you cannot, function to maximum capacity, that person is in problem, is in big trouble. So I ask questions, and it has really helped me. And that which was the first phase of my integration in the UK. I actually don't want to talk about the timing, what assumption. Maybe we're going to talk about that later, because coming from Nigeria, especially Lagos, you time yourself. Okay, if I wake up 6:30, I think I can get a bus for 6:45. I will get. You just try to, as in, yeah. There's a schedule for everything.
Yeah.
The bus schedule is there. You have to get up, on time. Make sure you get the bus on time, and get to work on time, because every a time can't, and every there's a target. You have to meet a target. So it is fun, settling in with my wife, because I know it's not easy for some people. Yeah, I know some couples of family that after we came in, they really found it so hard when it comes to accommodation, when it comes to integration, when it comes to people, that will show them the way. So it was really, really difficult for them. But my own experience was, I won't say it's quite simple, but it's fun for me, because I really, really explored a lot of opportunities.
Wow, wow. Thank you so much, Paul, for sharing that awesome story. You said you got a job within a week, and within a week. So what I found, from what you've said, so you ensure that your CV was really good, was
Yeah,
tailored to the types of job that
yeah,
you were applying to.
yeah.
And also you ensure that you ask questions. So by asking questions, you were able to assess more opportunities. And also, I'm just wondering, within that 1 week, when you got all those things, with all these things that you put in place, you know, um, what would you tell people now that want to come? Like, okay, where did you find the job? Was he? Because I remember when we came 19 years ago, we have to go to the newspaper shop, right? Very close to where we live. My sister and I, we would go to that newspaper every Tuesday. We'll get a certain paper. We'll look for the jobs. Okay, we were student then. We came as students. We'll look at the jobs, and then we'll bring it home. Even sometimes in that shop, you'll be looking at it to quickly, look a little bit the first person. Then you bring it home, and then you start ringing people. So when you
Mm,
ring them, then they'll send you the application form. After sending you the application form, you then fill it and then send it back to them before they would then send you an invitation for the interview. I know
interview.
everything now is done via computer. So,
Yeah,
which website did you use to look for job? How did you search for your job? Did you go to the job center? Because we used to go to the job center. Then you could
yeah.
just, touch more on that a little bit.
All right. Thank you so much. We got. I know technology has taken over in this new age. And we have the new medias too. So there are some websites in the UK that are majorly for jobs in the UK, like Indeed.com, like Read.co.uk, like Total Jobs. So these are websites that we have a lot of jobs, but you also have to streamline the kind of job, your feed, and also location also matters. because I can recall that there was a time I applied for a job, like far away from my house, and by the time they gave me a call and they asked for my postcode, which is more of it to show your address. So they said, no, we are sorry, we cannot proceed with, we cannot go on with this application because where you live is far away from the work.
Location.
So and that is it. So people need to actually streamline their location. They have one location because it's also can't. Then also streamline the kind of job they want, and also the CV is the most important thing because it's something that will sell you. You don't need to be there. It says markets you. It says a lot about you.
Mm,
And in the UK there's a format, but many people actually mumble things up, and they don't get to do it well, because I know an average white man, I don't want to say they are professional, but they want to things to be done the right way. So that will
mm,
actually give them the kind of interest in you. Oh, we would like to consider this person for this job, especially professional
yeah,
jobs. So yeah,
yeah,
so they would like to actually consider this person for this job. So they will definitely get back to you. And if they
yeah.
don't, if they don't even have a spot at that moment, definitely they will get back at any point time soon.
Yeah, yeah. So for people that are already in the UK still looking for jobs, thinking that you cannot get a professional job because you just entered the UK, and those of you that are planning to come, do well to ensure that your CV is done properly in the
Mhm.
layouts. People will be able to understand. Make sure you also have a cover letter, because I know a cover letter
Yeah.
is another
Yeah.
good one. Make sure
Yeah.
you don't have any gap, because in the UK, when you have a gap, they'll be
Mm,
thinking they want to fill the blanks. Have you
yes.
been to have you been to jail? What
Say,
happened?
yeah.
If you're on
Yes.
maternity leave,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. And
So
they don't joke
if
with
you're
reference. Referencing is
yes.
very
Yeah.
important. They don't joke
Referencing
with it at
matters.
all.
Mm-hmm,
So.
mm-hmm. So make sure there is no gap on your employment. If you were on maternity leave, state you were on maternity leave. If you were volunteering, state you were volunteering. If you were
Mm-hmm.
running a business, state you were running a business.
Just
Do not
schooling.
leave
Mm,
any part
whatever.
go exactly. Schooling, like Priscilla said, if you were schooling, just say you were schooling. Do not leave any part blank. If you do, they will help you fill in the blank in the way that you don't like, and you
Mm-hmm.
probably not get close, right?
Yeah.
So ensure you do it right. Get your CV done properly, and don't start saying that, oh, I can't get a job. They've made it
Mm-hmm.
easy now. You can search for job online without even leaving the comfort of your house, right? You don't need to go to the newspaper shop to grab the papers, right? So you can do that. Please just do well to do this. Thank you very, very much, Paul, for sharing that. And also, I would like to ask, what are the things? I know Priscilla said she found it easy because she had plans. I can see you plan things, right? So tell me, what are the things that you found challenging in the UK? Tell me, there must be something.
Well, first and foremost, accommodation is very important. We had before leaving Nigeria, because of the nature of our job, we planned the accommodation thing. That okay, 2 months after leaving the training center, which they trust, secures for them to train them for their OSCE exams. So I told that we're going to ensure that we get a place, because I can't just come in and be stranded. So I wouldn't want a situation like that for, and we are just starting out in the UK. So that was that as regards to accommodation. So, and I also told her like, okay, please, can you just start looking out for me? I mean, there's some jobs in relation to what I used to do back home in Nigeria, an inclusive educator. I wouldn't mind working as mental health, worker or something like that, or support or something like that. She said, no, you can't do that. Like, you just have to, stick to what you used to do back home in Nigeria. Okay, I said, okay, no problem. When I get to the UK, I will sort that out myself. So you just leave that, but just undo the house issue. And funny enough, she was able to actually handle the house issue. Yeah. She we moved into she moved she moved into the new apartment on the 7th, and I arrived in the UK on the 8th August. So she
Wow.
moved into the new apartment on the 7th August, while I arrived on the 8th August. So it was very easy for me. I rested well. I was able to, concentrate on the next move, and I actually went for it. So apart from that, then financing is very important because I know many people that though they make the money, but the ability to control and manage their finances is very, very difficult. So we put things together, and we plan our finances every month, because we've agreed on that before now. This is what we
Mm,
want to do as regards to our finances. So, and as a family, this is our projection in the next couple of next 2 or 3 years, and we keep on reviewing that from time to time, and working towards it.
Sorry,
wow.
I just want to quickly chip in this. There are all some issues people don't really, they just overlook it, and it's very important in migrating from where you were, like your home country, to a foreign country. I'm not
Mm,
just limiting it to UK, but for the course of this, we'll just be limiting it to UK. So these factors actually matters, but people just overlook. Just like he mentioned, housing, because I know most people. I'm not going to be limited to like um, maybe nurses alone because I'm a nurse. We are just talking on a general topic, so I'm going to make it like a broad kind of discussion.
mm,
I know of most people that come in through the student route, right? So
yes.
of course, they are entitled to come in with their partner, like a wife or a husband or the kids. So you are coming in as a student. Of course, already your finances is limited because you are already limited, kind of. You already have certain hours you can only work for. But on the
Mm,
other hand, your dependent can work for as much hours as he or she can. So those
mm,
things need to be put into consideration. As a student, if you are coming in, good and fine. Even as a worker, you need to have at least a month, something that can sustain yourself and the person you are bringing in before you thinking of bringing the other person in. I think I came into UK about 6 weeks or 6, 7 weeks before my husband joined me. I know it's not really easy, especially because I could still remember vividly. It wasn't a palatable one. I think that's the only aspect of the journey I wasn't pleased with. You know, especially as a newly married couple, you living like uh, sep- separating yourselves at that initial stage. It's not a palatable experience at all. But you coming in, you need to at least put something in place, something tangible that you know that, all right, this at least to some extent, you make projections. This can sustain myself and the person that is coming in, because it's really stressful when you bring someone in and then you don't even have the capacity to cater for yourself, to cater for that person. I think that's where most people are struggling. And then you need to make sure you already have an accommodation. It's not
mm,
limited, like I mentioned, to nurses. It's whatever route you are coming in with, you need to make sure that you already in you are having somewhere you could lay your head at every point in time, and then
mm,
that's the only time you can bring someone in. You shouldn't be in a hurry to pull someone from his or her own home country just to come and suffer. I keep telling people it's just to come and suffer yourself unnecessarily in the UK. You need to have something tangible in place when it comes to housing, when it comes to finance. You need to have those two things in place, because those two things really matters. It really makes the journey much smoother and easier for people to integrate.
wow. Thank you very much. So, mm, Points that you guys have highlighted is make sure you plan. I love the fact when Paul said you guys plan together your finances and then you review it monthly. You review it because you know exactly where you're going. You have plan. And Priscilla beautifully added that if you know you are coming, don't rush to bring your dependents when you know you don't have an accommodation. Make sure you have an accommodation, secure an accommodation, have enough money that you can put aside, maybe 2, 3 months, that you can have to look after your dependents while you are going to school and also working part-time, and while your dependent is also looking for a job. It's so, so important for you to do that. Because when you come, you become a liability to your dependents. Your dependent become a liability to their friends that they already have. And then this the stress, like she said, you come and suffer. So if you want to come here to come and enjoy and start on a good standing, then you should think of all these points that they are generously sharing with us. Okay, so please remember that. Thank you so much. You guys are just sharing this nugget with us. This is gold, and I really do appreciate your time. So, if you can tell us, any of you can take this first, but how did you integrate at work? Because I've heard some people say, "Oh, they don't understand my accent." People are complaining about my accent, and then some people saying, "Oh, I was late to work, and then I got pulled for disciplinarian action against me, and things like that." This is the UK. African time will not cut it. So please tell us, how did you? It's true.
Yeah.
How did you integrate? How did you integrate into work, into
Well,
the
I won't
work
lie to you.
system?
I won't lie to you. The first week on my first job was quite difficult because then I used to bought two buses to work. One from where I stay, then one to my place of work. So the connecting bus sometimes, definitely you might have what we call bus delay and changing schedule, schedule time and things like that. So the system is there. In fact, my former place of work, like nobody will run after you. When you come late, then you won't be paid for that time. You'll be paid for the time when the time the moment you step into the place, you're clocking, so your time starts counting. But when there's it is repetitive, there is a pattern, then you'll be called. There'll be a kind of a sanction. So some are even sent home, like, just go home 1 week. You don't have to come in. I imagine a family man or a person, who caters for the family, staying at home, doing nothing for 1 week. So people are so conscious of that. So I just, I had that back of my mind since I know what is at stake. So I used to wake up about, I think, 4:12, 4:15, then
Wow.
take, yes, 4:12 every morning, 4:12, 12 minutes past,
For
4 a.m. Yeah, 12 minutes past 4 in the morning, a.m. Then get on the first bus as early as 5. Then make sure I get to work by 6:30.
Wow.
So I did that for about, I think, a month plus. Then I was able to get some, in process of my interaction, asking questions. Like I said, I was able to get someone who stays in the same location, my same in the same postcode,
Okay. I'm not sure what
and
happened.
yeah, so the guy picks me up in the morning and drops me off in the evening. Then I told him, don't, no worries, I'll also be responsible for the fuel. So weekly, there's a certain amount I give him, even though it's a token, because one, it's relieved the stress of waking up as early as possible, as 4:12. So that later on, my sleeping pattern actually changed. So the integration at the early stage wasn't that easy when it comes to keeping to time. Especially when your workplace is far away from where you live and you are not driving, it is always challenging. Many people are coming into the UK from Nigeria. Many of us, we came with our international driver license. It's not like that in Nigeria, whereby someone will sit in the comfort of his or her home and orders for a driver's license or gets his or her driver's license. It's not like that. You have to go through the process. So even for you to have the driver's license in the UK, it's a it's a difficult task. So if you can actually skate through that, then it should be easy. It should be easy for you to manage your time, for you to manage where you will be, and even to keep to appointment. So that is one thing I've really really learned in the course of my first um two three first 1 2 months on my first job, and that has actually really helped me when I actually moved on to secure another job. And now I've really, really integrated, into the culture of time management because they are time conscious in the UK. And when you have an appointment for 4 o'clock is 4 o'clock. You say yeah, it's 4:30 now. They won't start until 5:30. you know. So it has really helped me in the other things I've really engaged myself with. And apart from that, the culture, the greeting culture, I had so many cultural shock. Like the greeting culture was, when I came in, I used to greet everyone, you know, I see on my way in my place of work. Hello, good morning, good morning. Like they were just like looking at me like, is this guy all right? Like, why are you? And a friend called me. You can't be greeting everyone except people that you are very close to in your department or you interact. You just come here, do your work, and go home, man. You're not here to. You're not paid to come and greet everyone. Just like in African society where we know each other, we greet.
Mhm.
Especially the Yoruba culture where um, I come from, the greeting is part of our culture in Africa. So, like, even though when you greet elderly people, some just find it funny. You're like, why are you greeting me? Like, you know. But later on, I started, blending into the culture. You know, getting to know many things, even celebrations, how they take celebrations serious. There are some things that we say, oh, what is this? Even though when it comes to gifts, they say it doesn't matter, but little things really can't in this society where we are. So I've really really got to learn about that. So it's fun for me. It's really really cool for me.
Wow. So you've talked about mastering your time management, and
Yeah.
also you've talked about even someone offering to give you a lift and things like that. And the driving
Hmm.
license, you can actually drive if you have a full Nigerian driving license. You can apply for provisional driving license, and together
Yeah.
with that, you can drive for 1 year before you get the UK driving license. So, but like Paul said, you need to go through the process. You need to do your provisional driving license. Then you need to do your theory, and then you do your practical and everything. And then talk about the costs. When I did mine, we were paying maybe £15. Someone told me recently she's paying £40 per
Coffee.
hour.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was like 40,
Yeah. 40 pounds.
That's it.
So by the time
that's
you're
not
about to rounding off for the training, you'll have actually spent about 1,500, 2,000 pounds
So
on
so that's
to
it.
get that.
yes.
Yeah.
So it's
Yes,
expensive.
absolutely. You are right. And because of COVID, there's a backlog of bookings now that you don't even get the booking as easy as it used to
Yeah.
be. So thank you for highlighting that. Please be taking notes. We know you're going to be transitioning down, or you're already in the system. You might see where your problem lies. It might just be these little things that you're overlooking that is the cause of the problem. So please tell us. So you're not greeting people now, Paul. So when you see people now, you just smile that plastic smile. You don't say
Yeah. That's
good morning, sir, good
it.
morning, man.
That's it. That's my.
Plastic smile. That's what it used to cover up.
The
Priscilla,
plastic
please, can you
smile.
share
Yeah.
your challenges? Yes. Can you share your challenges so far, in terms of integration at work and things like that?
Hmm. Um, I think this this one is really my own major concern, especially if you're going to be coming to UK and depending on your field, if you are going to be coming in contact, close contact with people, especially when you work in the health sector. Yeah, because you can't do without communication. So communication really matters when it comes to the health sector. You communicate with the patient, you communicate with relatives, you communicate with loads of lots of people from different backgrounds, from different um, with different accents from different countries. You meet with lots of people when you come to UK, not just the British. You meet with other persons, and that's where you get to see various accents. So I'm going to be talking more about language, language. Well, there's this exam which most people take, not only relating to nurses alone or to the those ones working in the health sector. It's actually called an IELTS exam, an international English language testing system. So I would really say that exam helped a lot, because when you take or you sit for that exam, you listen to lots of speakers speaks, like lots of people speak, and then you got to sit. You have to sit down for the exam and you have to pass it, because if you are coming in, depending on the routes, especially for nurses or any health professional, it's very important you sit and pass that exam. I know it's very important. It's one of the criteria for you coming in. So that exam really helped lots of people, because when you are able to scale through that exam to some extent, I tell people, yeah, to some extent you can communicate, even if not fluently. When you come to UK, you can communicate, and then you can uh, you will be able to understand what people say, because I've come in contact with people and it will keep repeating itself even till tomorrow. They come and they tell you, how do you understand them? Because I don't even understand when they speak. So it's another challenging part of a person integrating into the system. It's not a good one when you have to strain to hear what people say. It's not good. It's just like there's no difference between you and a deaf person, because you don't hear when people speak, even though they are speaking in English, but just because of accent. So it's all depending on planning, I would say. When you know you are going to be coming in to a country, of course, an English speaking country, I would advise people, you have to just master your English anyhow you want to do it. I have a friend that traveled to Canada recently. I watched her on social media, and she was like, "Oh, I don't know English language. Also have another aspect that I've not been exposed to." So language barrier is a challenging part. Also, it's one aspect that makes people see integrating into the system as a stressful one, especially if you find it difficult. If you strain to hear what they say, it's not a good one. So I would advise people coming in, you need to stream more, you need to listen more to people with different accents, know how to communicate with them, try to see how to understand them, because they too, they even strain to hear us. It was when I started working with them, I came to understand that they too, they strain to hear me when I speak. It's not just applicable to me, but with time, you get used to it. You get used to them, definitely. You get used to the language. You get used to how to communicate, how they understand you, how you communicate with them, how you understand them. So it's it's all part of the journey, the whole process. It's all part of it. Mm?
I like your flexibility around it, Priscilla. The way you said, it goes both ways. they're trained to understand you. You sometimes also trained to understand them. It's all about listening to what they're saying. Pay attention, because even if your accent is different from theirs, if they read your body language, that you really want to understand what it is they're trying to communicate to you, they will pay attention. They'll be more patient with you, vice versa as well. So working in your sector or in any sector, you will meet people. You have to be patient. So what
Yeah.
Priscilla is telling you, be patient and come prepared. It's not everything that you will go back and then you find it really, really challenging. No, be flexible with it. Be open to learning different accents. Even in England, you have different accents. You have people from Newcastle, their accent, it
Mm-hmm.
sounds like they are not speaking English, right? I can't even pretend to say it. My children normally do it. And I'm like, what are you saying? I don't understand your English. Like, you're speaking we're not talking about Scotland. We're talking about people in the
Mm-hmm.
north side of England, not west, right? So please be patient and don't take everything to heart. Don't take everything to heart. It's part of the learning process. You see the way Priscilla was talking about that flexibility came through when she was talking. Thank you so, so much, you two. So I'm going to move on now. I know you guys have integrated in the community because that's how I met you guys, right? You have integrated in the community. You guys are staylights now. You're no longer newbies, right? So tell
Mm-hmm.
us, people that are struggling to integrate in the community, tell us what is the best approach to that, to integrate into the right community. Not every community that belongs to you,
Yeah,
right? It's not about having 20 loads of community and then you're in the wrong place at the wrong time. I'm talking about being in the right community because I
yeah,
know you two are very responsible.
yeah.
What approach did you use to pick the community that you're seeing and where you are known?
All right. My wife actually located a church, which is a community of worshippers. And when I joined her, I look at the setting. I said, "Wow, this is awesome." How they do things. Um, that sense of belonging. It was warming. It was welcoming. So we actually decided to actually settle in and relate with every individual. Even they were ready to listen, to give you a listening ear out and things like that. So I know that the mistake many people do is that they find themselves, just like you mentioned in your question. They find themselves in the wrong community, in the wrong place at the right time. And it's very important, your environment, the people you meet, the people you listen to, the people that advise you really matter in this UK, because I told my wife, like, me in this UK, I don't listen to any kind of people that come my way. Advice, mm-mm. I don't. I hardly take advice from any kind of people that come my way. You don't just give your audience to random people. So we are so
Mm,
mindful of people we associate with, people we listen to, where we go.
mm,
So the church is just like another family, another community for us, that where we integrate, where we get to even ask questions when we know that we're not so sure of a certain thing,
mm,
where we get to know more about jobs, or I know about a couple of times. I know about a couple of times that we have new people in how the church, and the people in the church community are able to stand up and help the new the new ones. So it's just a plus for us. It's a plus for us finding that kind of community.
mm,
So I would just encourage every individual coming in, find the right community. Many people find themselves in a community where things are really, really, going wrong for them. Just like my wife,
mm,
when she was about to get um, accommodation, then a senior colleague told her that Look, you cannot raise your child in every community here in the UK. There are some communities that you cannot raise your child.
Mm,
So you just have to be mindful of where you rent your house. I said, what? Yes,
mm,
because we were new and no one would tell you this. But because you are looking for a house, you're on for accommodation. You won't give preference to all these things because these
mm,
are vital information that no one will tell you.
yeah,
So the right people you meet, the right people you mingle with, and where do you find them? I will tell you, the church community is very important. The church
yeah,
community is just like another family in the UK. So when you find yourself a good church, let me just put it that way, not just church, because I know, like I told my wife, I don't like um some wahala. Let me just put it that way. You know, our people back home in Nigeria, the way we used to worship and all this kind of stuff. Like I've seen it all. That coming to UK is another ball game entirely. Like I'm not in for that. And thank God for the kind of community we find ourselves as a church community. So good look for a good church. Is a good start. Okay, and by the time you look at it, you mingle with good family, good people, good family that you can even emulate, you can even talk to, they can even listen to you, they can even advise you. And that is why I said I don't listen to all sort of advice. Anyhow kind of person cannot advise me. So that is it.
yeah. Thank you, Paul. Those are, excuse me, those are vital points that you just pointed out. A lot of people sometimes they want to be popular. They are seen here, seen there, seen there. You don't really know who they are, right? Be at the right place because if one finger is stained with oil, before you
Mm-hmm.
move around within few
Yeah.
minutes, it will stain the other fingers. So in the UK, the record is there electronically. The people you mingle yourself with, if you mingle with the wrong crowd because they are flashy or because you just want to be, I want to belong, you will find yourself in hot soup. You have to be really, really careful about the people you associate with. You also talk about the church family as well. Find the right church and go there. When we're talking about the drama. I understand. Paul is not trying to say don't go to a Nigerian church, but he's trying to say sometimes when you go to certain places, you will just see that drama. So even
Yeah.
when you are in the right church, mind the people that you associate with. You don't have to associate with everybody. Say good morning to them and you move on. So that's what Paul is trying to say. Be very, very mindful of the people that speak into your life. Be careful of the people that speak into your life. A lot of people will bring advice, but the truth is all the advice in alignment with your values? There are some shortcuts that people might advise you to take. But if you have a good value system, you run it through it and you're like, no, I'm not going to take everything that is spoken to me. So you pick the right ones. Thank you very, very much. So Priscilla, I'm gonna rephrase that your question, right? I know you have a good support system, right? So tell us, how did you pick those lovely support systems around you? I know your husband is there, but you are not seen with everybody. You're not seen with everybody. You have your special support system. How did you come about them and how did you choose them?
Yeah, thank you. Aside the religious your religious place like the church, the workplace is also another aspect. So at work, I've got a good support system, like you rightly mentioned. So you can actually use some of them to integrate better by asking questions when you are not getting it. I noticed something about people in the UK that you don't work based on assumption. You need to ask questions. You need to be very sure of what you are doing. Let me just put it that way. You don't just assume, oh, I think I know how to do this. You need to be very sure you can do it. You need to be very sure you understand. You need to be very sure. You don't assume anything at all. You need to be double sure that you know what you are doing at every point in time. So for me, I would say at work, there are people out there that like how will I put them? Will I say that they're like a mentor that should be seeing all what you are doing, and then you can easily report to them. Actually, most of them have been nice. Like I've got a ward manager, which she is very friendly, she's very open. I think most of them, they are actually open, they are transparent, they are friendly. You can actually talk to them if you are encountering some kind of challenges, especially at work. You can talk to them at every point in time, and they are always there to listen to you. So also at work, um, talking about your colleague also, yeah, there are some persons, from body language also you could tell. There are some persons that are actually open, they are accommodating. They actually want you to just let them know, is there anything. Even some of them, they're actually nice to tell you, are you sure you are okay, are you fine. It's just like kind of a reassuring question. So with that, I think you can still be able to pick, oh, I think this person is ready to listen to me, if I can share any of those challenges or any of such with them. I think they can actually give me a listening ear. So you can actually pick some of those people at work, when you see that, yeah, they are open-minded, they are transparent, they are being honest to some extent. There is always a way of streaming people before letting you know everything about me, because I don't just I find it difficult to make friends. That's just someone like me. I'm an introvert. So but there are always ways for you to pick people you can actually share some of your challenges with. When you see someone that is open-minded, not someone that don't give a dime, that don't care, you can't go to such person, or people that are not accommodating. You can't go meet such person and then be telling them everything happening around you. No. But people that are accommodating, you can actually go there, tell them, oh, this is what I'm facing at work and every other thing, and then I think they should be ready or willing to assist at every point in time.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Priscilla. From what you've said now, as in also look at people's body language. Some people just talk. They don't really look at, is this person paying attention? Is this person in a rush? Is this person available to listen to me? So because even as you want to talk about your own, they also have their own as well. So they might not be in the right frame of mind to listen to you. So when you're a place of work is another place that you can find people, you can make friends and integrate, but make sure you choose the right one, people that can help you. Right. Okay. So I've got about two more questions to ask, or three. Okay. The next one is, you talk about accommodation. I've met a lot of people telling me, I'm looking for accommodation. I'm looking for accommodation. So Priscilla, you are the queen of accommodation. So which website did you go? Which website did you go? Because I'm gonna be dropping the link underneath this video when I upload it. As in, which website did you use? How can people go about looking for accommodation? So in order to get a good one.
Yeah, so it's UK. It's a different place, a complete different place entirely. Unlike way back in my home country,
Okay.
when you are looking for house, accommodation, there are people they call agents. You can actually talk to, or neighbors, or you can even walk randomly if you can get yourself. But it's different here. You won't Don't expect to see that here. Everything has gone digital, everything has gone, there are more technology put in place. So there are sites like zoopla. They are called renting apps. So we've got renting apps, such as zoopla, we've got openrent, we've got many of them, but I think these two are they are the ones I know that, yeah, you can actually get something. Then we've got right move also, right move, zoopla, open rent. And then if depending on the accommodation you're actually looking forward to, if you're looking forward to a shared accommodation, I think they've got this other one, spare room, whereby you can get a kind of a shared accommodation, like a three-bedroom, and then three people are sharing it. It's very common in the UK. I know from maybe, especially people coming from Nigeria, they may not be used to that, but it's something that is very common in UK. You can get a house and then three persons are sharing it. It's normal. You share the communal area such as the kitchen. It's normal. Then everybody gets their own privacy when it comes to room and others. So you can actually get such accommodation from spare room for shared accommodation. Then for other accommodations such as 2 bedroom, 1 bedroom, as many bedrooms as you want, you can get them on Right Move, you can get them on Open Rent, you can get them on or Zoopla. And then you can also seize the opportunity to utilize your employers. I keep telling people because I've got people also that employers are willing to help when it comes to accommodation issue, especially when you're just coming into UK. You can speak to them and then they can help you. They can step in and just help you get something. So
Okay. So how do you get through the guarantors challenges? Because some people don't want to sign as guarantor. They're like, if this
Mm,
person disappear from this rent, from this
mm,
accommodation, I'll have to pay for it. I can't afford that. So
yeah.
how did you cross that guarantor issue? How did you guys do that?
so the accommodation we are staying presently, so it's gotten by the employers because the employers stood in as a middle person with the
Mm,
landlord. So they are indirectly like standing in as a middleman saying, oh, we actually brought her into the UK to work for us. We know her. We know we can vouch for her that she can actually pay. So they acted both as a guarantor, as reference, as everything that you can think of. So I think that the first accommodation wasn't that difficult for us because the employers stepped in actually. So, but recently when we got the other one, they had to do what is called a credit check because they are going to look through your credit background. They will run some check on it. Then they will do some employment check to be very sure if
You have a job.
you have a job because no landlord in the UK is ready to
I mean,
to give
to give
you
give
his or her
a
property.
jobless
Yeah,
person.
when you are not even working, when there is no hope for a monthly allowance or a weekly allowance, whichever one, at least there should be something in place for you that should be able to cater for your rent, right? And another thing, there is, yeah, basically the employers can step in for the first housing. Then thereafter, you can then move out if you want to, maybe due to some factors that is best known to you. If you intend moving out, then that's when you start facing issues of guarantors and all of that. But I would also say, like to chip this in that I've noticed something also from my last experience of house hunting. There are some housing I would say that really needs all of those checks to be done. Yeah, all of those checks need to be done properly. You can't skip any of those checks. Your employment check, your credit check, the guarantor, your referencing, everything needs to be there. There is no two ways. If you are going to get any of those things on the app, they will do all of those things. But somehow, some of them may just overlook your guarantor, especially when they look at it and see that, oh, your job, the job you are doing is actually worth it. Yeah. Uh, at least there is no month that you'll be stranded with rent payment or any of such. And especially when you're able to give them a work reference, it goes a long way. I think that way they don't even have, some of them don't even bother asking for guarantor because they know that they've gotten an assurance from your workplace, like your ward manager, because the one I just got recently, the ward manager stepped in. So she acted as a reference from my workplace. So if they are double sure that you are working, you have a substantial work you are doing. Some of them may just keep the aspect of a home guarantor, you getting a home guarantor, which saves you a lot of stress. Then
Yeah.
they rent you the property. So that's it
Thank
when it
you
comes to
so much.
housing. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Priscilla. That's a masterclass on its own. Thank you so much. You were very, very thorough and detailed with that. So, Paul, I'm going to ask you this now. Okay, when we come, we have to do our NI, we have to do our doctors, we have to do our dentists. You have to do your bank and all of those stuff. So tell me, how was the process in yours?
You
Because the
know,
place where we
the
normally apply for NI has changed a lot. Yes.
yeah, it has really changed a lot now. I actually didn't apply for NI. The NI came with my BRP card. So
Mm.
Okay.
yeah, it came with my BRP card. But why some they have to apply,
Apply.
do the application, and in where if you want to do that kind of application, you must actually use a valid postcode
Mm-hmm.
to for it to be delivered to the address. So apart from that, because the GP own my wife, she really tried. She dragged me like you must do this
You are
GP.
asking the wrong person
Like
about GP registration.
seriously, I was someone like I said physical about it. I wasn't serious about it. So she said, "No, you must do this," and you kept on, dragging it on and on. But I was able to do that. We found, well, we looked out for the nearest GP
They are
center,
all
health
in there.
center,
Yeah, you get them
very
online.
the one closer to my postcode,
Postcode.
within my postcode. So we were able to get one and register there. And one funny thing about them is that they always advise that you get one that is very close to your house. Get the one register with them, and which will actually save you time. So I've been there a couple of times. I think so. Yeah, that was the time my wife went there, and we're able to do. Although before I we moved to the new apartment, my wife had already registered for, somewhere, but so she had to transfer
Records.
record
Everything.
to the new place. So it's very possible when you move
You can
to
always
a new
check.
apartment, you can just transfer your record. So it's nothing to be scared of. So I was able to tender my passport, my BRP card, and they got that my some of my
Basic
details,
information.
some basic information, and the registration was done. But I waited for I think about 5 weeks for the NI. I mean the what was it called? NHS number to come. I waited about I think 5 weeks, yeah. But although I believe that the woman in charge didn't actually work on it because she told me it's going to take I think 5 to 8 working days.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't hear from them. I rang them many times, and she said, "Oh, they are still working on that. The NHS number has not returned." So I waited for about 5 to 6 weeks, and when the NHS number showed, they told me that's a reference number. Whenever I want to have any appointment, I can book my appointment
And
online.
you've got the
I,
app.
wa- I was told to download the app, the NHS app, to book appointment, to look for available date to see my GP if I have any health issue. And well, I've not been to the clinic for any medical reasons, anyways.
That is
So,
very important. People
which
have
is
it.
very important because health is wet here. They don't joke with it. So that registration, I was able to skate through. I think that's the only thing that really took time. For I think for provisional driver's license, I think it came back within 5 working days. I didn't have Nigerian driver's license, but I actually used my my BRP, which was sent to them, and the whole registration took about 5 working days to have provisional driver's license. And I've been going through the theory examination drilling, and also preparing for the practical soon. So that's how far I've actually gone as regards to registration and documentation, especially to access basic amenities like hospitals, to access, driver's license and things like that.
Okay. What about the bank? The bank aspect of things.
Oh, the bank card, yeah. No, I will actually advise people like always take your time, like because if should start talking about the bank thing, I think there was a time of recent I had issue with my bank. One thing is that be meticulous when it comes to your application to open account. If they get to know that there is an error by omission, in the information you give to them, that person will definitely run into a big problem. Then people always who are new always open Revolut bank card,
An online
Mozo,
account.
yeah, accounts for a main time. But there are
Really?
some organizations like work. There are some workplaces that will not take
Online
these
account.
as a normal account
Mm-hmm.
for salary payment. Like it happened to my wife. I think the first salary she wasn't able to, she wasn't paid. She wasn't able to get the pay on time for the first salary because she didn't have a proper account. I mean the UK account. So the online, accounts, and bank card were in place, but they said no, we won't pay into that account until you have a proper account. So she had to go through the process, and she was able to get that. But everything, came. I think about 4 weeks. The salary came about 4 weeks later because of that. So because I actually learned from my experience, from that experience, then I built on that. I first opened my the internet bank card, Monzo and Revolut, just for basic transaction. Like I want to buy bus tickets. I want to go to the superstore, get some groceries, because I don't take around my main bank card. You know why? Because it's very sensitive. It has all your bank detail, your sort code, your account number, your name, and everything. So it's very, very sensitive. I don't take it around, but I take around the internet bank card like Revolut and Monzo, just to do little transactions here and there. So for the main bank account number, the UK bank account number, like Barclays, like Lloyds, like Halifax, all
Halifax.
right, and so many banks like that. So different banks with their different approach and protocols on how to open bank accounts. Some will tell you you just go online, download our app, go online and start the application. Then we will actually verify your address. Then after verifying your address, we will send the bank card to you. So you don't have to go to the bank. Why some will tell you you have to book appointment.
Yeah. Barclays.
Yes, especially Barclays, you have to book an appointment. And the appointment, when they say nine is nine, you have to be there by nine. And because you're not there by nine, that means is it that you have to
Lost your
come another
slots.
day?
Mm-hmm.
You missed your slots.
That's
So I actually opened, but I opened, I think Barclays and Lloyd at the same time. But later on, I think I had issue with my Barclays. It was shut down for one reason or the other. I wouldn't want to go into that. Okay, because they are always meticulous whenever you are doing your transaction, and I will advise people, anybody that is doing the UK and you get a call from Nigeria or anywhere in the world, please, like, can we use your account number to send money? Can you help us take so amount of money? Please, if you don't know the source of the money, do not do that, because one, there are records everywhere. Because if you go into your DBS, that maybe they will put that claim on you that it's a fraud.
Yeah.
You've actually been you're engaged in fraud, the fraudulent activities, and it will affect that person anywhere the person goes to, anywhere. So that means that person can never have a proper job. That person can never have what we call mortgage. That person can never have, uh, government, support and things like that. So that means that person has jeopardized a lot. So please, I know many people actually see that, oh, it's just many people do it. It's an easy way to make money. Oh, let me just quickly do it. It's just for me to help this person to take this amount of money. I'll have my own share. I'll have my own car. Please, I advise that person in the name of God, don't do it. It is very dangerous, very, very dangerous. So
Mm.
all that being said, I was able to actually go through the banking, application. I started online from the comfort of my house. I didn't even step out to the bank. But at the point in time, I was having difficulty with the what's called verification. They said, no, I shouldn't bother myself. You're going to get a letter. All I have to do is just enter the code. They will send you a code to verify your address. I was able to do that. I got the bank cards. I did the activation. But lo and behold, I don't take them out. I keep them at home because I have the bank app. If I need to make any transaction, I transfer my bank app to other bank cards, internet bank cards that I have, because these are very, very sensitive information. So that's it.
Wow. Thank you so much, Paul and Priscilla. Thank you so, so much. Lived experience should be treasured because it's not story that you Googled or story that you're reading from the magazine. It's not story that that someone made up. This is real. You've shared so much today, and I really want to thank you. But I've got one juicy question left. One.
All
In
right.
the UK, people are always busy, right? Like the husband is going, the wife is coming. The wife is coming, the husband is going, right? So tell me, how do you guys manage to still keep the romance in the relationship? How do you guys do that? Let us know. For people that are struggling.
Well, um, that is a funny question. I think of recent, we what you just mentioned, because though before now, we were not having this kind of experience, right? Because I know whenever I go out, I know I will move my wife at home, because sometimes we both leave home in the morning, we come back home in the evening. But of recent, because of the nature of my job, I work now in the edge sector. She works in the edge sector. Sometimes she's on night call. I'll be home in the day, and by the time I go to work in the morning, she's not yet back. Sometimes we will not get to see about 3 4 days in a week.
Wow.
Sometimes I will be on night shift, and by the time I'm out on night, she's at home. By the time I get back, she has gone to work. But family bonding is very important in the UK. No matter how busy we are, we still create time to bond. We create time to go out. Many times, like, okay, can we just go out? Let's to McDonald's. Can we go out? Have a proper 3 course meal dinner. We go out. Uh, there are some interest. There are many interesting places in the UK. In fact, even though if you don't want to travel on holidays, yeah, I know holiday is just there to ease out the stress and things like that, and to be taken care of. But there are still some places you can go to ease out the stress and do have a proper bonding. My wife and I, we actually make out time to go out, to even have dinner.
Off days.
It's off days, yeah, off days. We always plan our off days. For us, it's not about work. Yeah, we plan our off days. Okay, there we are going out to so place tomorrow. Then we always plan it. Then ensure that we are both off on that day, and we go for it.
Yeah. So Priscilla, you're the woman of the house. Tell us, hey, what's your version of this? I know Paul has given us you know, so what do you do to ensure because it can be frustrating. Really, really
So,
frustrating.
yeah. So, quick one. Most people when they come into UK, when you start getting the pounds, it's enjoying. You won't even, if care is not taken. I keep telling people you won't see all of these things again as something that is important. But family comes first. I keep telling people for everything you do, your family comes first. Whether you've got kids yet or not, that person, that husband, that wife is your family. Is because if they ask me what family have you got in UK, I always say, oh, my husband. Yeah, because that's family member I've got in UK. So you just need to keep up to date with your spouse, no matter what the work schedule is like. So for me, basically, what I do is I plan my off to always, because mine is kind of flexible. So I plan my off to always tally with my husband's off, and sometimes annual leave also. You can actually, I think you are entitled to 4 weeks annual leave
Hmm.
every year, so you can actually make those, you can utilize those time. But most people are all, they are blinded with the money. They are just after money. It's not all about money all the time. Sometimes you just need to take that day off, just go out, ease the stress, bond with your spouse, it goes a long way to build a relationship. Because if you keep chasing after money, the truth is,
You lose the kids.
other areas will just
You
be
lose the
behind,
family.
the kids, when especially for families that have got kids, because we've not got any at the moment. For families that have got kids, you need to take the kids out once in a while, get them things, take them to
Get
playground.
to know what's going
It's
on.
just for them to know what is going on in the outside world, not just about school work, not just like a triage: school work, church, or school work,
Mm,
home. It goes beyond that. So we can actually seize the opportunity of using your off days, using annual leave, and yeah, just to keep up with family and family bonding and all of that.
wow, thank you so, so much, Priscilla and Paul. I've been married for 16 years now, and we have to be intentional. We need children because even when you plan those off days, sometimes the children they have a way of like. So me, I have to tell them I am having
Yeah,
a night out with my husband today.
that's
Yeah,
Me and my husband is
it.
having movie night, and they start laughing. Oh, okay. Are you trying to say we should go to bed on time? Yes, please come and be going. Go, go to bed, please. I need to spend time with my husband. If my husband wasn't here, you guys would not be here, and they start laughing.
yeah.
So, like you said, your family is so important. Don't go looking at how many hours you would do in a day. Instead of
Mm-hmm.
spending that off day with your wife, you're like, hey, I would have made 200, 300 pounds. But in replacement, don't do that because before you know it, once the crack is there, it gets
Mhm,
bigger and bigger
Yeah.
and bigger. And before you know it, you're like two strangers living together.
mhm.
So I can see
No
you guys
roommate.
have got your finances. Yes, so roommates, yeah. I can see you guys have, review your finances monthly, work together as a team. That's what Paul and Priscilla have been saying. Plan everything. Mind the people that speak into your life. Mind the places that you are seeing. Mind the places that you go. Do everything. Plan for it. Don't be looking at people and wishing to be in their shoes. If you plan for it, you might even supersede what they've achieved.
Mhm.
Everything is plan and preparation. There are loads of opportunities in this land. Leverage on it and begin to thrive. I want to thank both of you once again for giving me your time. Giving me your time. I'm sure this is your off day. I've taken from your time together. So much for sharing. I really do appreciate and celebrate both of you. Thank you for honoring my invitation and
You're
do
welcome,
enjoy
ma.
your
Welcome.
evening.
You're welcome, ma. I used to, ma. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Right. For those of you that will be watching this, there will be more guests that will be coming on the program, more guests that will give you so many lived experiences that will be sharing from the depths of their hearts. Is it looking after the male child in the UK? Is it raising godly seed? Is it looking after your mental health and your well-being? Is it learning to upskill or reskill? A lot of wonderful guests will be coming on. So stay tuned, subscribe, and also press the notification button as well so that when I upload any video, you will get it. I remain Abia Sonia. Thank you so much for joining us. And bye for now. Bye.
Bye.